Sorry about that little glitch. Okay, thank God for that. It worked in the end. Yeah, it's my first scheduled live. Live in the moment seems so much easier. There we go. So how is everybody today? Thank you so much for being patient. It's really quite different. Hi, Andy. It's really different when you're just going live. When you schedule it, there's just a few other things you have to do you hadn't experienced before. So thank you for being here. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Cassie. Hello, Steve. Kathy, you still there as well? Yeah, thanks for being so patient. So we're basically today going to have a look at household plastics. Can you all hear me okay? Volume's good, yeah? Have you got a cup of tea ready? Oh, that's good, Brenda. So what do you guys think when it comes to finding things around the house? That's great, Cassie, thank you. Are you quite happy with recycling or reusing things rather? Because I used to find it really tricky. Hi, Richard. Yes, you have. Brilliant. Okay. So yeah, you reuse everything, do you, Cassie? Red Bull, Kathy. As in Red Bull cans. Hi, Issue. Thanks for coming along today. Took me a couple of minutes to get on the live. Sorry about that. We're all set now. So what sorts of things do you use around the house? I know I do, Cassie. That's one of the main reasons why I sit, when I first started pouring, all I was doing was using like cottage cheese pots and, yogurt pots and things. And I just found so many more things to use. And it just saves so much more money. And if you think you either throw it away or you can use it a few times. And if you have, hi, Richard, thanks for coming. So Aisha, today we're just looking at household plastics and how you can reuse stuff around the house. That's brilliant, Brenda. That's really good. What do you do? Use everything. That's fantastic. One of the things that I find, okay, so say for example, we've got this kefir pot, okay? Kefir pot. Normally you go into the recycling with it, yeah? Easy, just put it in the recycling, done. But if you get a knife, I quite use a Stanley knife, you can cut through from here all the way round, and you get what I've just started using as a travelling pour open pot. So I haven't got one here, I've got one in the art room. But if you imagine using that, you can either use it that way, or you can use it as that. So imagine it being cut off here. No problem, Andy. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hi, Claudio. How are you doing? So yeah, so you see this bit here, that'd be cut off. I used it the other day and it was the best travelling cup I've had so far, literally. You probably see that the delay is probably about 15 seconds, I think, on the live. Oh, there it is. I did bring one in. There it is. So I've got the lid of the kefir. And you just literally put the pillow paint down, pop this on top, and then all of your paints can be put in there as it travels round. Great, isn't it? So good. And then you don't have to keep the lid, but that's another thing I use for something else as well. And then that's the bottom part of it. And look what a great pot this makes. It's nice and solid. It's easy to bend, so when you're pouring, you can use it and do a smaller amount of paint to come out. I just love these so much. And when you're done, you just get a covering, and then you can just save the paints for about 3 months. Do you do that, Brenda? What do you use with your pots? Hi, Claudio. Do you paint at all? Oh, good to know you're wide awake, Brenda. Yeah. Your plastic flower. Really, Brenda? It's fascinating, isn't it, where you can get things from. I don't know if you guys use this, but do you ever use this for anything? Baking soda. I use it for so much, it's unbelievable. Kathy, you must have come across this. That's a good idea, Kathy. You could definitely use that. So, what do you think about this bottle? It's quite a nice shape, isn't it? I'm thinking of cutting off the top and using that for a pour, because I just think it would be a lovely ornament or a lovely vase of some sort. Can you see on the top here? This is basically it's got a bit of something sticky on there. I'll just give you a demo with get bicarb. It's quite cool because you get a little bit of a fuzz. Put some vinegar on, and you can clean it. Just use a bit of a rag. It's a nice shape, isn't it, Michelle? Oh, hi, Michelle. Thanks for being here today. It's cool, isn't it? So if you think, get the rag, and it wipes off so easily. You see all that going, all that stickiness. If you leave it for a bit longer, it will come off, the whole thing. You can see it's beginning to come off. Fantastic stuff. I mean, you can use that for absolutely everything. So that's that. What sort of bottles do you use? Cassie, if you literally get bicarb of soda in the oven or in the sink with vinegar, it gets absolutely everything off. Right, this, I don't know how much it is in the US, but here it's about £1, and that is for 500 grams. And this vinegar, and I use this to get acrylic paint off stuff as well. It's just over 500 mils, and it's 29p. Cassie, no. Use alcohol, do you, Brenda? That's a good idea. But the thing is, you know, if you just want something really cheap, this cleans the bath, sinks, ovens, and acrylic paint. I don't know about you guys. Do you ever get paint on things in the house? I don't know why, but I leave things hanging up and I think, oh, that's nice and safe. And I'm in my apron going from one place to another, answering the door, whatever. And I brush past and I get acrylic paint everywhere. And so when I use bicarb and vinegar, it gets so much stuff off. Hello, Binning. What's your name? Thanks for coming today. We appreciate you coming. So let's have a look at some other things. We've got this mug. Do you ever use a mug, guys? So this is on its way out. It's got a few chips. And this is another one, which is great, just for you could just do a separate pour. And then all of these things. That label can come off the same way I did with the other. And you can just have these little storing. I have so much stuff for storing. Do you ladies ever dye your hair? Yeah? Hi, Michael. Thanks so much for coming. How you doing? I know some of you guys don't dye your hair, but if you ever do, look what a great pouring bottle it makes. Look. Now, this is another thing about bicarb of soda. You do, Michelle. I do. Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Look at that. Great little container, and it comes out so easily. It's fantastic. What I do to clean it out, as well as the kefir pots and everything else, basically, is guess what? Bicarb of soda, just a sprinkling, and then I just fill it with water, and then I just leave it for a day, and it's literally as clean as that. Look, clean as a whistle. That's an English expression, clean as a whistle. Michael, meet Steve. Steve, meet Michael. I think you've met before. I think Steve, you've met everybody here, haven't you? Hello, Deborah. Thank you for coming in. You're just up, are you? I always forget how early it is in the morning. You got your morning coffee? So I was just saying, Deborah, I don't know if you use this as well, but I use bicarb soda to clean out all my pots, and I just fill it with water. Now, I'd be interested to know, what do you guys do with your leftover paint? Nanette, hello, lovely to see you. What do you do with your leftover paint, and how do you dispose of it? This is another one, Ovaltine. So if you have things in your house that you often have, you don't need a Stanley knife, but you can just give it a bit of a, and then you strip it off. Then it becomes a clear bottle. So I just need to take the rest of that off, and that'll be fantastic. This is what I use. This is an old moisturised one, which I've just finished this morning, so I haven't cleaned it out yet. And this is what I put specialist paints in, and I then label that up so I know. Oh, Richard, never mind. Thank you so much for coming, Richard. Great you popped on. Have a great weekend. And then I just literally have that like that. That's cool. And then we've got, I wanted to ask you guys what you do about your gloves and recycling. How often do you recycle them? And do you clean them? Because you just literally, if you dip your hands. August, hello. Thank you so much for coming. You got your morning coffee? So funny. Hi, can you hear me again? Oh, it froze. Am I back again? That was strange. It just suddenly went off for some reason. So, do you ever use water bottles? What I've done recently is I've cut it off here and started to use it for a pour. You can see how good that shape is. Yeah, same with me, Cassie. It's great, isn't it? And I just wash them, wipe them off, and it's fine with gloves. So I did a lovely pour this the other day, and you can get different. If you just get a few of them, you can get different sizes, and of course, when you have different sizes, you create a whole different effect. Anything that's chipped, you can use to store things in. And I was just thinking, if you could just come up with any other pots and things that you use. I mean, look what I've got here. So that was something that you perhaps don't think of every day if you're having cream or if you're having yogurt. That's an old cream pot. Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened, August. It's quite strange that it just froze. So this Greek, look at the size of that. It's such a great pour. And when I get these pots, I always make sure that there's only a very small rim or none at all. That way you don't waste any of the paint as it's coming up. And then we've got how do I clean the paint out, August? Well, I tend to use them as permanent pots. So when I'm making up a load in these, I literally seal the pot and keep it like this for months. But when I'm cleaning them out, I just use a rag and some water, and I use bicarb of soda, and I use white vinegar. So I literally pour that in. I mean, initially what I do is I get a big tub and just put the pots in, and I have water in there and I wash everything off best I can. And then to get the rest off, I just use the bicarb and the white vinegar. It's fantastic. I gave a demo a minute ago, August, where you get a bottle like this and you put the vinegar on, put the bicarb on, then the vinegar, and look how easily it comes away. So it works so well on so much stuff. This is the sticky stuff that's really hard to get off bottles. So you just use that formula. Is that right, Kathy? That's good to know. Thanks, Brenda. See you, Michelle. Thanks for popping in. So what do you guys do? How do you use your bits and pieces? I'd love to know. I use toothbrushes for stirrers. And you're going to think I've had a massacre here. Look, I've been using a lot of red paint recently. But this is one of my favourites. It's basically an old knife that was going a little bit rusty. And I use it all the time because it's so long. It literally goes into almost everything. And it doesn't, you've got plenty of length on it. So you can have a good stir and then clean it off. But obviously I didn't do that yesterday, so you shouldn't be looking it up. See you, Michelle. Have a lovely weekend. What was that, Kathy? Solo cup. Oh, yeah. You use that as well, do you, Debbie? And then we've got these. And they are just pallets from a supermarket. Do you know what else I use them for? So when I'm actually putting a painting down, I use 2 of these and I lay the painting on top, and I can reuse and reuse and reuse these. So anything sort of that shape holds your painting really nicely as well. I've got a shoebox there, and that's where I store a lot of my paints, and it keeps it nice and dry. I've got another yogurt pot there. A couple of things in here, just bits from Christmas. So I use that for like a chain pull, but it's like a different type of pull. And then, you get sponges in things that arrive in the post. I use that for a number of different things when I'm painting. How about you guys? What do you use? There's a little box here as well from a little present I had it recently. So that'll make a fantastic thing to put in all my tools. Michelle was gone now, but she was just saying she dyes her hair like me sometimes. And this container here is great. So does Brie dye her hair at August? Oh, you don't get them in the mail, August. Sometimes you only get packaging that's got quite organic material or quite reusable material. They're quite useful, some of those things. Can you think of anything that you get your packages that arrive? Can you think of anything you can use? Because there's so many things that come through the post. I think, gosh, I could use that. So I was just showing the guys a minute ago, August, this. So when it's all cleaned out, it needs to be cleaned out, this one, a bit more. It makes a fantastic pouring pot. Really good, love that one. And then if you want to try a different style, you could put the other one on, which is how you actually do the hair with. So you can imagine how that comes out on a pour. That's what I'm going to do soon. That's my experimental pour. So we're pretty much there today. I think I've shown you everything here. I was just saying this is a kefir pot. I love to cut the kefir pots up, and they make fantastic travelling cups. August, look at this. That's the top of a kefir pot. I used it the other day and I had the most gorgeous results. It's nice and wide. You pour the paint in, and it tends to drop in the middle rather than around the sides. I mean, if you want to do it on the side, it's not the ideal travelling pot, but it's fantastic. I have to show you. I'm trying to think when that's going to come out. Oh, it's Pat's birthday. Actually. Hi, Golnaz. So cool to see you. How are you today? Well, that's clever, August. They have a bubble wrap and use it for regular abstract work. So you do other abstract work, do you, other than the fluid art? Well, you should show us sometime. Sorry, guys, it froze again. So this here, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I think it froze for a moment, didn't it? So this here is what I use as a rag to clean down my pots. And I also use it to varnish. I'd love to know what you guys use when you're varnishing. Do you use brushes or do you use material? Because what I tend to do is, depending on the size of the canvas, so say the canvas is this size, I get my varnish, which is the Liquitex varnish, 50% varnish, 50% water. I get one of these, which is basically a piece of Steve's. It's like a polo shirt. So to put this size canvas is perfect. I get a piece that big, fold it in half, dip it in the varnish and the water, and then I place it on the side of the canvas, and I do it in really gentle strokes along like that. Do you really, August? That's a fantastic idea. Use a sponge wrapped in a pantyhose. Ooh. I don't wash the rags, no, but I would probably say I get about 30 different varnishing pieces out of it. And then the rest of it that I can't use because it's, like the hard bits around the collar and around the rim, I'll use that as a rag to clean up the pots. So the whole garment gets used. You use that as well, do you, Kathy? Oh, is that where you got it from? Molly's Artistry. Oh, I can't remember where I found this method from, but I just find it works so well. How many, so if I carry on doing this for a moment, you go across and you dip it in probably every 2 times until you're across, and it gives a lovely thin layer. Do you use 50% Liquitex varnish and 50% water, or is there another varnish that you use? So do you guys use a spray-on varnish or Liquitex? You do, yeah. Oh, that's cool. So how many layers do you use? I tend to do 4 layers. Look how small the piece is. It's a great size, isn't it? Right, guys, I think we've pretty much covered all the different bits here. So is there anything else you guys fancy sharing today? Because it's lovely hearing about what you use with the pantyhose and the sponge. And I'm going to try that. I think that's a fantastic idea. You do 3, do you? Yeah, I tend to do 4 layers, but it depends on the size of the canvas, and how thick it is. And Kathy, do you use Liquitex gloss varnish purely, or do you do half that, half water? Spray on varnish, Debbie. Yeah. Yeah, same as me, August. It's really good stuff, isn't it? It's really clear. It looks almost resin-like, because I have tried resin, but I just prefer the look of the Liquitex, really. That's a great idea. So you keep it in a latex bag, yeah. Fantastic. I might try that with this actually, because I find when I use this, it's great, but then if I try and use it the next day, it's dried up. So I'll give that a go. I'm not sure if it'd be the same as sponge, keeping it in a Ziploc bag, but that's fantastic. Yeah. Well done, August. Thank you. So what are you guys? Yeah, I prefer varnish. I'm not sure what it is. I do like resin, but there's something about varnish, and you can also choose a satin finish if you want, or gloss or matte. So, guys, what are you up to this weekend? Have you got much on? I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. I think we've just come to the end now. I think we've pretty much gone through everything here. We've exchanged a few bits and pieces, but it gets you thinking, doesn't it? When you look around the kitchen and you think, gosh, even a palette that you get from you know, the superstore with your mushrooms in, that sort of thing. I use these all the time to store things in and for my paintings. All these different jars. I was just saying, August, as well, that when you get a mug like that on the way out, that makes a good pour too. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. It's been fantastic having you. And sorry it took a bit of a while to get started. You don't have any plans, Kathy? Oh, bless you. I bet you can't wait to get painting again. Bye, Debbie. Have a lovely weekend. And thank you so much for being here. You're wonderful. And it's little chats like this that open up so many different possibilities. We can just exchange thoughts, can't we? And it's a forum, really, just to chat things through. Have a fantastic painting and resin weekend. Excellent. Bye, everybody. Thanks, August. Thanks, Kathy and Cassie and Michael and Annette. You've been absolute superstars, all of you. Have a fantastic weekend. Love you guys. Bye. Just gonna get the sourdough out of the oven now.